Alright, everybody. So, we just got off of talking about how, this whole Hogwarts Legacy culture war thing is literally just the perfect primer for a Gamergate 2, unironically, here online. I mean, the internet is more, more leaning in the right's favor than it has in a long time, with, Andrew Tate basically still being, a beloved figure despite being actively in Romanian prison for, sex trafficking multiple women and admitting to it publicly. We've gotten to the level where the right is just on top of things at the moment, culturally speaking. Not fun. It certainly isn't fun, but this whole Hogwarts Legacy thing could make it a lot worse. And something that's really frustrated me is how much it feels like the left is just handing the dub over to the right on this. Just saying, you know what? Hogwarts Legacy, the game right now, possibly going to be Game of the Year, one of the most culturally impactful things that's going to happen this year. Let's cede all discussion, all praise, all review, all gameplay, all, cultural love of the game, all participation in the game culturally to the right and allow them to weaponize the game entirely for their benefit. And they have succeeded at it. And the thing that frustrates me even more is that some lefties, such as Hassan, were thinking about buying the game and then streaming it to raise money for a trans charity in order to help, use the game's popularity to create a conversation and make something good come out of it. Hassan was harassed so much that he ended up having to cancel this. Part of that was this Jessie Gender video, I believe, imploring, don't stream the Wizard game. We're going to be watching and reacting to this video. I have heard it is god-awful and very bad. I've heard many trans people in my chat who are Harry Potter fans say it made them feel as if them being trans, if they bought the game, they would be like a lesser trans person. They would be like a bad trans if they bought the game. It really is. That's what I've gotten off of this video so far. So let's go ahead and watch it. It seems that she is at an airport.
Hey everybody, so I'm at an airport and the lighting is poor. We'll talk about that later, but more importantly, I wanted to talk about the fact that I'm a fan of leftist streamer Hassan. I don't think he's perfect, I don't always agree with him, but I like him quite a lot, and I think he does a lot of really good work, and I think he's a good egg. I think he's a real good egg overall. But recently, because this is online, he got into a bit of drama, as happens sadly a lot with content creators, and shout out to FD Signifier's great recent video on this topic.
For those that weren't here earlier, that's the video in which FD Signifier rehashes the thing and then defends DJ Mule. So, do you guys remember that thing I was talking about where the left wants to run headfirst into Gamergate 2? More desperately than ever right now? I love the thumbnail, too, where it's a bunch of hands reaching out and grabbing at him. And it's drama. Meanwhile, he's the one who made the 2.5 long video meant to make drama happen. Well, every lefty streamer was just minding their own business, talking about world politics and what's happening right now. All of the hands are white. I feel like this would be a better thumbnail for a video about how white people need to stop asking and then sometimes not even asking and just doing it, touching black people's hair. I didn't realize how big of a thing that was till I got to middle school, and I had a friend who would just constantly have that happen to him, specifically after he had haircuts, and he was like, dude, it's so fucking annoying. Everybody just touches my hair or asks to touch my hair. It's so fucking annoying. And I was like, well, why do they do it? Does it feel nice or something? And I was like, I'm not gonna touch your hair if that makes you feel better. But I didn't realize that was a thing until I got older and I got to the internet and it was like, oh wait, that's a thing where white people just be like, oh my god, can I touch your hair? And grab at it. Hyper's in chat if you've heard of that.
By the way. But this drama was about how he, Hassan, wanted to play on his stream a certain wizarding game, controversial for reasons.
Is that seriously a thing? Oh, you don't know? Y'all don't know? That's a thing.
that I spoke about in a recent video in order to raise money for transgender charities. To try to use a game that is part of a wizarding franchise that is owned by an anti-trans bigot doing active harm to trans people to fight back by doing a charity stream to try to make money for trans people, though she is directly harming. Honestly and truly, I think that is a fantastic impulse. It's a kind one, it's a caring one, it's one that shows he has a desire to do good, to help, to be kind, and to try to make change, that is his first desire. And I think that speaks all very well of him and who he is and what he tries to do with his work.
Okay.
And I'm sure if he did do that charity stream,
All
that it
right.
would make a lot of money for transgender charities, which is awesome. However, there is an issue. He is a leader for many in many communities, not just the leftist community, but the streamer community and many others,
All right.
including a leader for many trans people. And I see a lot of folks, including other streamers or even transgender streamers, say, oh, well, if he can play the game, then I can. And then I see other people who look up to those streamers and leaders and say, oh, if they can play it, then...
The game is the number one most streamed single-player game on Twitch. It's like the number one most played single-player game in the world right now. It's like, boycotting is not going to stop anything. Like, it's already making billions. The lefties who are boycotting the game do not make up a large enough percentage for this to matter. I'm sorry, but this is not a worthwhile thing to fight. The outcome, the actual physical outcome of arguing against people purchasing the game is worse than just letting this go and letting J.K. Rowling have this.
I can donate to trans charities and play it myself. But here's the thing. Now that everyone here has bought and played the transphobes game and gave it more money and attention and validity, that's what you've used your platforms to do. To give validity to this game, to say it is...
Like, would I still get views if I just got bored and busted out my phone and recorded a video like this, like on my porch or in bed or something? Can I just, like, not feel like streaming one day and just drop a video like this? It's just recorded on my phone, no editing, just 10 minutes of me talking? Like, would you guys watch that? Bro, yes? Should I just, like... Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go on a walk tomorrow and, like, do a vlog or something. That could be fun. Should we all just purchase shit tons of Nestle water bottles because doing a Nestle boycott is futile? What? No? What? She is trying to shame Hassan for potentially buying the game to do a live stream charity fundraiser for it because maybe his fans end up thinking it would be good, it's morally okay to buy the game, and their purchases would be going to J.K. Rowling, and that's bad. It's come on. This boycott is not... I'm saying the efficacy of boycotts doesn't mean you shouldn't participate in them. You can participate in it if you want. But trying to say that other people are bad for not participating, and particularly this boycott, it's just a losing battle. I don't care if you think it's like morally the right thing to do. It is a losing battle, and the left should give it up. It is a losing battle, and the left should give it up on this game. I don't care. Personally, don't buy the game if you don't want to. I'm not buying the game. I'm obtaining it through other ways because of pride. Don't shame people who do.
Okay, it makes her relevant, it makes her platform and franchise relevant, and allows her to keep justifying and causing harm to the transgender community. And also keeps telling the people in charge of this franchise that yes, they can still keep making stuff within it and make money while she's still doing her horrible stuff. And I'm not just talking about generally in our culture today, but I'm saying that this is happening within our own spaces that are supposed to be directly transgender supportive. Yes, the world sucks. Yes, it's breaking streaming records, and that sucks. But it doesn't mean that we have to replicate that economy within our own spaces that are...
This is basically the core of the left-wing, like, idea, or the online lefties' idea of how to engage the right. We can't go as low as them. We can't use their, like, ammo against them. We can't fight fire with fire. We can't stoop to their level. We must always take the high road, no matter what, even if it means we lose. No matter what positive outcomes can come, or could happen, we always have to take the high road. It's so fucking frustrating.
Are supposed to be safe for trans people. It supports her economy, not ours, not the marginalized, not transgender people's, and it normalizes in everyday discussions and discourses, keeping her and her platform in our attention, in our mind, in our culture, and we need to not do that. We don't use the tools of the oppressor to take down the oppressor. I'm not saying we're...
There it is. Oh my god, I was completely right. This is a perfect demonstration of, like, the problem with the left. It's all, like, we have to be squeaky clean perfect. We have to take the high road. You realize these people want to kill you, right? Like you know that, right? They want to kill you. like, they don't want to say mean words to you. That's just what they can do now. This is what they can do for now until they can kill you. And they're getting closer to being able to kill you every day. The right gets stronger at this rate every day in the online culture and among voters. I don't know how 2024 election's going to go, guys. I really can't say. Could go either way at this point.
We're going to be able to take down the oppressor today, but playing that game is playing on her and transphobic terms. This is what I and others talk about when we say don't play the wizarding game. It's not that you are a bad person or a bigot if you do, but what it's doing is not actually supporting trans people, and it's not being an active ally or accomplice to the transgender community. Even if you...
Well, yeah, so she's just straight up saying, like, yeah, if you do this, then you are not being an ally, you are not being, like, a supporter of the trans community. To be clear, by the way, as I've said probably a trillion times, I hate the word ally, and I do not care about being an ally. If you think something that I've done is not very ally-like of me, deal with it. That's not my goal, okay? You've heard my takes, you know my opinions on trans issues. People call me an ally because of my takes on trans issues and what they are, but, like, that's just what I believe. I know it to be true. I know that trans people are valid. I know that sex and gender aren't the same thing. I've done the research. I know these to be factually true. What the right believes about trans people is factually incorrect. I don't care about ally points, okay? I don't care if she approves of me being a good ally.
do use it to try to do good things. We fight on our terms, not theirs. And a lot of people said this to Hassan, and good on him, he decided not to do the stream, which I think is a correct thing, but a few things have happened in the discourse after that fact. First, people have said Hassan was bullied into not playing the game by transgender people.
Yep.
I'm sure many people were assholes to Hassan during this. Some of them quite possibly.
For those that don't know, the cancellation thing happening to Keffels right now, as it turns out, it's been fully confirmed, was a psyop started by a Nazi account. It's been fully confirmed that the entire Keffels cancellation was a Nazi psyop, and it all started from a Nazi account. They did it as like a send-off to Mr. Medicare. The left is very good at the right is very good at weaponizing people like this in the left to attack the left's strongest advocators. Or advocators? I guess that's the right word.
Possibly being trans, and wanted to react vitriolically at him for his initial impulse to play the transphobic game to help trans people. And that really sucks, because his intention was good. Don't harass streamers for playing the game. His intent was a good one, his hope was an earnest one, his desire was a good one. We don't use the tools of the oppressor to fight oppression.
No, Medicare's not dead, he's dying.
Oppressors harass. Oppressors view things in binary and essentialist terms and want to create antagonism. And they want us to do the exact same thing to each other.
You're retired.
While we fight oppressors, while not harassing them, we don't do that to each other. We create dialogues. We work with our community and between communities in kindness, and don't essentialize one's actions, but create meaningful conversations with each other based on the understanding that we are in.
Like, that can happen while playing the game. Hassan is literally one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, and he's the biggest lefty streamer on Twitch. If on release day he was streaming Hogwarts Legacy when it was getting 1.7 million views and was raising money for a trans charity and talking about, like, the whole time using every opportunity to bring up the transphobic shit J.K. Rowling had said and done, there is no way in hell that would not be an objective positive.
Perfect people in perfectly fighting a horrid system that hurts us all. Also, by framing the discussion as if trans people bullied him by saying that that was the overriding thing, which may even be completely true, it's ignoring the valid critiques that were being made, like the ones that I hopefully articulated earlier. And it frames the discussion in terms of building a resentment against the marginalized, against trans people. It frames trans people as the aggressors in this entire situation, as if we're the hateful, hurtful ones, when in actuality, we're the ones being harmed in all of this. In fact, it's also very important to point out that one of the biggest right-wing disinformation campaigns about transgender people is that we're all bullies trying to control what you say or do.
That is true. The problem is it doesn't come from nowhere. Like the trans community at this point almost owns it. How many trans people have you seen on Twitter that are all woke scoldy that basically own the like being a vitriolic, like, flaming asshole? And then just, like, own it and then end up unironically becoming what the right calls them. It's always so fucking infuriating. But yeah, that exists. That exists. It does. They get it. They get it from somewhere.
And they canceled her because she said in an interview, and this is not exactly what she said, but effectually, she said gender was a fact. And then the trans community got mad as they started calling her a TERF. I didn't even know what that was. But I know that trans people make up words to win arguments.
The way that you can tell who holds all
I can't believe, like, the internet tried to argue this guy wasn't transphobic. It's just jokes, guys. He's just, like, Dave Chappelle's never done, like, a comedy show where the point wasn't for him to do, like, commentary on something and give his opinion. His thing is talking at you in a funny way. If you agree with him, then you think it's funny.
all the power in a society is by who you can't make fun of, right?
That's right. So his speech is violence, their violence is speech. See how that works? What's interesting is that the number of people who really care about this issue enough to assault someone over it is tiny. And yet they have disproportionate power. 350 million people in the country, maybe 1,100 feel that way, but they're running everything. Why is that?
They're running everything.
Most trans people are just saying this casually and trying to be reasonable, like I hopefully am trying to be myself. And yet the narrative always focuses on the loudest, most vitriolic voices in order to create a narrative around trans people. Now, I'm not saying that this is what Hassan is intentionally doing, but constantly framing trans people as bullies.
Well, no, Hassan got mega canceled for trying to do this. And no doubt I will too when I end up doing my thing. So yeah, it's going to happen. I'm just going to run a massive blockchain. But yeah, he decided not to do it.
Who are coming to attack you ultimately supports framing trans people as harassers and bullies, which ultimately feeds into the right-wing narrative around transgender people that frames us as the aggressors when really we are the ones being victimized. And by the way, I'm not saying that Hassan is contributing to this narrative intentionally, but certain people are taking it that way. Just like right-wing folks are currently using the fact that one streamer started crying after some mild pushback from her community about her playing Hogwarts Legacy, using it as the transes are bullying you. Also, these discourses make it about individuals, the person who's being bullied by the transes, instead of about the actual trans community, the entire group of people.
I agree with this part of the video. I am very frustrated with the coverage of all of this, either being like directly calling people transphobic for playing the game, saying that people are transphobic for playing the game, and not like focusing on the actual argument, and then just like leaving it at that. Like, just like give the facts and then leave it at that. Like, it's so frustrating that so many people who are giving their opinion on this don't even know what J.K. Rowling has said about trans people. Like, Asmongold doesn't know what J.K. Rowling has said about trans people, and no video he watches about this situation is going to reiterate it, because it's inconvenient to do so. The right lies about the things they've said, because the things they've said make them look bad. If you're a right-wing content consumer, you can only be focused on the here and the now. Because if the takes that your favorite content creators are having now, if you look at them compared to the ones they had a while ago, they don't make sense. The whole ideology falls apart.
People that is being harmed. It also forgets that trans people are harassed like this on the daily, just for being trans online.
And I'm not saying
That's
all
true.
trans people are acting perfectly in all this. Some trans people may be angry and vitriolic towards Hassan and others, and that sucks. It is awful, and we shouldn't be doing it. No one should be doing it. But a lot of trans people are hurting right now. We're imperfect people fighting a horrid system imperfectly. That's not to forgive them. It's not to say it's okay. But it's the understanding.
It's just so frustrating that, like, you have to be policed by the rest of the left if you want to have any type of a platform on it. Everybody's trying to one-up you in moral purity. Like, you can never just chill and do your own thing. There's always someone out there trying to call you out and make you look worse than them, because they benefit from them looking better.
Understand that we have to have when you have a marginalized group being attacked.
And I know the criticism to this video will be, well, if he plays Hogwarts Legacy, then maybe people who might be watching an anti-trans streamer might watch him instead. But my argument back to that would be, instead of worrying about continual endless growth in a very capitalistic sort of mindset, why not worry about modeling how to fight for trans people and platform trans people to your audience? Be a champion to the audience you already have. And hey, who knows, maybe by taking a stand, doing something different than the already tons of other people playing Hogwarts Legacy on the platform.
God, I hate when, like, some lefty content creator tries to tell someone who's more successful what to do to be more ethical. It's like, yes, let's let Hassan, the largest lefty figure there is, let's tell him how best to go about doing this particular thing to raise money for charity. I'm sure not playing the biggest game in the world right now would be the best choice for him to make if he wanted to play a game and raise money for charity on it. Yeah, I'm sure.
You'll make your audience grow anyways by being someone different, by showing them a different way forward that's positive and helpful.
But
God,
I also fear now that
this is toxic positivity, by the way. This is toxic positivity. This is like when like a mom is like, no TV or video games. You get to bounce a ball against the wall instead. It'll help with your hand-eye coordination. It's much better for you. That's like the level of toxic positivity this is. Like, we have McDonald's at home, and you should be happy with it.
Hassan is not going to do anything. He's not going to do a trans charity stream. At least that's what I know at the time of this filming. Maybe that's changed. He's not going to play any game or talk about transgender issues during this time. But we don't, as activists, do things because people were dicks or because things are awful all the time. We don't be reactive. We be proactive. And being proactive means realizing you don't need the wizard game to do a transgender charity stream. You can just do a transgender charity stream.
Yes, on not the biggest game in the world that is, like, drawing a massive amount of controversy around this that, like, would get tons of eyes and attention raised. It's literally just, like, kneecap the impact of what the left can do out of literally for no other reason than moral purity. Because we have to feel better than others. That's all this is. Moral high grounding. Moral high roading?
The wonderful video essayist Jacob Geller did one actually late last year playing sword video games and raised thousands of dollars. Hell, the most effective trans charity stream that I'm personally aware of was of Donkey Kong 64, a game that is decades old.
Yes, and Hassan would have blown that out of the water. He raised $500K for, like, relief for an earthquake in Turkey recently. So, yeah, he like, Hassan might have raised damn near $1 million or more if he'd done this charity. No hate to H-Bomber guy, but, like, to be clear, this isn't an argument. You're just arguing for the left to kneecap its ability to achieve good things for moral purity.
At this point, you can just do a transgender charity stream. You don't need to play any specific game. In fact, even better, you can support not only a transgender charity stream, but a transgender artist at the same time. You can use your platform to play a game by a transgender person that others may not even have heard of. For example, Celeste comes to mind. Tell Me Why also is a game that has transgender artists and actors within it. Bloodborne PSX, the indie free Bloodborne PS1 demake, is...
It's literally, hey, Mom and Dad, can we have some McDonald's burgers and fries? And they say, we've got burgers and fries at home. And they're like, cold as fuck, hard as a rock in the fridge, and it's like some plain burgers with some mustard on them that have been in the fridge for 3 days. Like, that's literally what's happening here. That's literally how I feel watching this video. Am I the hypers if you guys feel this way too? Like, we have Hogwarts Legacy at home. It's the same. It's like when you want it. It's like when you want a very particular, like, brand of food because you know that particular brand makes that food a certain way that tastes the way you like, and then your mom tries to argue with, like, my mom does this to me and I pay for our food. I will literally be like, hey, can you make sure that when you order this, you make sure you get this brand on the order because that's the one that I like. And she'll be like, this brand makes the same thing and it's cheaper. And I'm like, no, I've had that brand. It doesn't taste the same. I know it's cheaper, but I'm paying for groceries, so just please get what I'm getting. And we'll have to argue for 5 minutes, and I'll have to be like, I know you think it's the same. You've never tasted these things before, but they're not. Okay, just get the thing. Okay, just order the groceries. My mom is like that. Yeah. I think it's probably pretty common. I doubt that's a rare mom trait.
Even better too, give attention to the indie creator of Bloodborne PSX, who is a transgender woman who made that game out of
that does look pretty cool, though. I will say, Bloodborne PSX does look cool.
And desire to learn to be a better creator, and who wants to go on to do more cool projects beyond just Bloodborne demakes. And I honestly, by the way, recommend No Clip Gaming's wonderful documentary about her, by the way. Imagine if Hassan, one of the biggest streamers out there right now, streamed her game while doing a trans charity stream. Gave her attention and inspired other streamers to do this.
That's all well and good. See, this is literally just trying to shame. It's like, look, you could do something that's way more, like, that looks way better, that, like, looks way more woke and like, it's toxic positivity.
The same. Would it be better numbers than the Wizard game numbers? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. But it would be doing things on our terms. Imagine Hassan streaming that.
The creator of Bloodborne PSX is actually kind of a piece of shit, to be honest. Really, Balth? Really? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Game. It might help change the course of her career completely in a positive way. It would enable her and help a transgender creator be able to make more wonderful, beautiful things and put those beautiful things out in the world for other trans people to resonate with and other people who aren't trans to find and discover and see what trans people can do. And I want to see those things that she can make, what she has to say. And all of that would be done while doing a charity stream for trans people. But maybe some of you out there are like, look, those games are awesome, but they're too small. The Wizard game is trending right now and relevant. Twitch will eat that up. We need to play a trending game. And okay, if that's your argument, I got you there too. Play Last of Us Part 2. That's a
That came out 2 years ago. Last of Us Part 2 came out in 2019. I was living in Florida when that game came out. What do you mean? I know The Last of Us show is out right now. Honestly, the game would be more culturally relevant. The first game would be more culturally relevant than the second. The second one came out in 2019, like 3 years ago.
video game that is relevant right now because of the, I think, record-breaking HBO TV show. It's a video game that stars numerous queer actors and characters, including a transgender one played by Star Trek's own Ian Alexander, who is boss, by the way, especially in that game. And the game was also made with several trans developers behind the scenes,
I'm excited to play this game. I am hyped for playing through The Last of Us games on PC.
including at least one that I know of in a lead developer role. And there might be more. And that's not even to mention that the TV show that is relevant right now stars Bella Ramsey.
Okay, we get it, but like the Wizard game's like the big video game that's dominating Twitch. Like I understand, but like this is all about shaming. The left isn't gonna win until content creators that aren't like this start gaining more traction. I don't know if they exist yet or if they'll come along in the future, but like I don't know if we're them or something, but like fuck. As long as this is what the left is, as long as this is what people look in and see the left as, we're fucked. At least on a cultural level online.
Ramsey, who is non-binary, and Pedro Pascal, who is one of the most adorable human beings of all freaking time, and also a vocal ally to the trans community, who himself has a transgender family member. Play that.
Those of you guys that don't know, Pedro Pascal dunked on the quartering on Twitter one time. Called him a dumb fuck on Twitter, if I recall correctly. So that's pretty fucking awesome.
That game, it's just as trending and relevant as the, wizarding one. Right now, as I said, I'm in an airport, and sorry for the terrible noise and weird cuts because the speakers have been coming on. But the reason I'm here is because I'm traveling to Los Angeles to visit the Star Trek Picard premiere that I...
The Last of Us 2 on Twitch has 556 viewers right now. Hogwarts Legacy has 264,000 viewers on Twitch. Yeah, but, it's a very prescient game, though. It's very popular right now. It would get as many views, if not more, than streaming Hogwarts Legacy for charity would.
I was very kindly asked to attend by the creators behind the show with my fellow queer creator and Trekkie, Sean Farrick, and others. Shout out to Trek Culture, by the way, for being amazing. And as I said, I was invited here by the creators of Star Trek, who I know for a fact...
For those that don't know, I think Jessie Gender does like a shit ton of Star Trek content. I've never been a super big Star Trek fan, but my mom really likes it, so I've kind of culturally osmosed a lot of Star Trek stuff through that.
Donated to transgender charities and didn't play the Wizard game. I saw online one of the producers of Star Trek Lower Decks, my favorite Star Trek show right now, tweeted out about it because he fucking rocks. And it showcases to me that there are big franchises and creators working within them, and creators big and small, both within franchises, within big multimedia corporations and without, run by people who want to care and fight with the vulnerable. Support those people. And if you want to say, oh, support the devs of the Wizarding game, I talked about that in my big video. You see, the trick of our capitalistic attention economy is making you think you have to use where the attention already is to get anything done.
That's what the right does, and succeeds doing into the future. Like, when was the last time the left popularized something culturally in a way that didn't end up backfiring or end up being, like, an embarrassing thing? The last thing I can think of is, okay, boomer, girl, and that was literally just overwhelmingly made fun of. What was the last left-wing meme that like, dominated culture that didn't backfire on the left? Karen, maybe? Yeah, but Karen is used to refer to, like, feminists now. Like, the right uses Karen to refer to, like, any woman who, like, criticizes... who like gets mad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're like, the left is not good at like cultural dominance. Like people make fun of that Paul Joseph Watson quote, and it is very silly. The right is getting better at comedy, and the left is getting nervous. Like, people make fun of it, but like there was truth to it. There was a level of truth to it. The right's lack of moral purity testing, and the fact they don't really have any morals to begin with, allows them to do anything they have to in order to win. The left basically attacks each other if they even come close to engaging in the same level of effective strategy the right engages in without a second thought.
To beg for scraps from someone else's table because they have the eye of Sauron of the cultural discourse on them. But we don't have to play that game. We, as activists, we create our own attention. We can't take down the Wizarding franchise, at least not right now. We can't take down the person who created it. It's not going to happen today. But the basis on which we build the chance to actually do that down the line does start today with our actions, what we create right now. And to do that, we create and fight on our terms. We cook our own meal with our community and others. We don't beg for leftovers from those who harm us. This isn't about a boycott of the Wizarding game. I'm not here.
They just want to have a tiny little social community, just their own little lefty social community, separate from the rest of the internet and internet culture, because the rest of the internet and internet culture is mean and doesn't like them.
Here for a boycott. I said as much in my last video. That's the wrong way to think about this. What this actually is about is creating our own future. Creating our own systems outside of these attention economy things, making our own attention, creating something stronger to build upon that works for us, making opportunities for those who didn't have it before, and don't give more to those who already have too much. This isn't a lesson we should take away just in this situation. It's what we should remember always. If this video was just about this Hassan moment, I wouldn't have made this video. This is a goal we need to work towards always. We build on our own terms. We build our own systems of support. Oh, and by the way, this same
it's just so goddamn condescending, too. Oh, boy.
arguments goes for the trans character in the Wizarding game. Her name is Sirona. Sir-Ona. I see the developers are going to the same school of naming that gave us the wonderful Kingsley Shacklebolt. The character is a tokenizing, I have a fictional trans best friend nonsense meant to trick you and others into saying all of this is okay. That you can use their...
Apparently there's a painting in the Harry Potter game, too, of, like, J.K. Rowling being burned, like a witch burning.
Tools and make people think they're being allies by supporting an economy based on hate. I spent the last few days getting told Avada Kedavra by bigots in my DMs and comments online. People calling me mudblood. People dehumanizing me. People telling me to kill myself using wizarding avatars. The Wizard franchise, while an oppressor doing active harm owns and controls it, sadly can't be reclaimed. It is a tool for them. It is their terms now, their language now. Let's not try to claim their tools to fight them.
She just said, Harry Potter is now the right's tool. Harry Potter belongs to the right. Give Harry Potter the right. She's actively saying, give Harry Potter the right. You know what? I just remembered the last time the left managed to take something from the right, or managed to succeed. And it was a time when the last time the left managed to have a cultural impact. And guess what it was? It was the left, like, weaponizing something the right already did. Pepe. Type your favorite Pepe in chat. Remember when that was literally, like, almost universally used by alt-righters and, like, edgelord shitheads? The left took them back. Put your favorite Pepe in chat. The left took them back. I'm sure that Jessie Gender disagrees with the use of Pepe. I've met some lefties who do. And that's just part of the problem. They do not want to win. They want to be morally pure.
Let's make our own and share them with each other. Oh, and speaking of which, the download link to Bloodborne PSX is in the down below, and it ain't $70. That's money you could instead then use to donate using the charity link.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, it's so condescending. It's so overwhelmingly condescending. There is a charity link in the description. Here's a link that will lead you to trans charities if you want to donate to some of them. But, like, Christ on a fucking bike, can the left stop being so self-destructive, please?